Well, it's Sunday, October 12th there, and last night you were able to watch Vitali Klitschko hammer Sam Peter into the earth. I mean, he didn't win technically by a huge knockout per se, but he smacked him around all over the ring. And there wasn't a round that Klitschko didn't dominate. And Vitali's showing you why he's the premier. He is the dominant heavyweight champion out there. Some people will say that you have his brother, Vladimir, who's holding the belts, who's also dominant, which is true. But if you think back, Vitali's two losses in his fights. One was Chris Bird because he tore a tendon in his shoulder. And the other one, he lost to Lennox Lewis because of cuts. He was winning both fights. Had he not had the cuts, we would have seen him mop the floor up with Lewis. After the fight, he stopped Peter in the 8th round. Well, Peter actually did a no mas. You know, damn it. Reminds us of Roberto Duran when he quit against Leonard because he was just getting spanked all over the ring. Peter couldn't get close to him, couldn't get near him. He was just getting hammered. His eyes were swollen shut. He couldn't see. Vitali, at the end of the fight, he walked up and talked to the trainer or the promoter of Peter, but he was just dissing him a little bit, not really paying attention to him. Because the reality was Peter never stood a chance against Vitali. The only thing going against Vitali was his ring rust and the fact that he has suffered some injuries recently. At the end, when they interviewed Vitali, he called out Lewis. He said, "I want Lewis. I think that'd be a great fight in a way, but on the other side, Lewis has gotten fat. He's not really fighting anymore. You know, he hasn't been in the ring. He's been doing the Celebrity Apprentice and whatever else, and occasionally announcing. You know, he's a great commentator, so that's always nice to hear him when he calls fights." So that's that fight in a nutshell. Vitali's definitely back. Look for him and his brother to mop up all the titles and bring the heavyweight division back up again, because they can actually box. They have a great style. You can watch them school people. Nice fighting. Those of you in the United States there, college football. Last night, you got to see Missouri get taken down by Oklahoma State, which was it was a shootout. You saw Oklahoma lose to Texas, the #1 team fall. So the SEC is really beating each other up, or not the SEC, but the Big 12 is beating each other up. Then you have the SEC with Florida just destroying LSU like they weren't even there. I mean, that was an embarrassment. That was an absolute beatdown. If LSU doesn't drop out of the top 10, that's a disservice. They look bad. They're not that good of a team. But then again, SEC isn't that good. They're not as good as their fans would like you to think. They're not above everybody. They're right with everybody now. And I think that's being shown as the games go on. Texas Tech barely pulled it out against Nebraska. More Big 12 teams beating each other up. And then you had the Big 10 with Penn State absolutely embarrassing Wisconsin. You had Ohio State pull out a close one with Purdue. I'm not telling you what team I root for, but you know, you'll have that. So that's a little bit there to let you guys feast on. Maybe you want to go and realize that the SEC really isn't all that. But I digress. Well, this is Big Ragu. I'm out.